All rise. Please be seated. All right. Good evening, everybody. We are in the fourth day of case number ZG416525518 in the child abuse and neglect trial, State of Florida versus Senahid and Clementine. Today is Thursday, the 16th of November 2023. Tonight, we have a couple of witnesses who are willing to testify. Kendall Williams, and some of our students in this year's summer school session, who are on the other side of the courtroom, are planning to testify against the defendant. We will begin with Kendall. May you please come to the podium? Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you please state your name?
Kendall Williams.
Okay. You may be seated. Kendall, can you please tell the year when you were first enrolled at Gus City Academy?
I started at Go City Academy during the 2011 to 2012 school year, when I was in kindergarten.
And what grade are you in now?
I am currently in my senior year.
Okay. Kendall, when is your birthday, and how old are you right now?
My birthday is on the 22nd of February 2006, and I am currently 17 years old.
Okay. What did you think of the defendant when she was first hired to be the principal?
I really think that Mrs. Clementine has been the absolute worst principal since she first started in 2018. She would always fire the teachers for spanking other students, yet she does the same thing. She has sworn at me and other students, she has called at me the N-word, and she has been giving me so many hours of juvenile detention. Thank God Igabet Hoazar is a new principal. He is much nicer than Mrs. Clementine, as he does not give out juvenile detentions or overnight detentions. And if I do something bad or misbehave, Igabet Hoazar would just give me 30 minutes of detention, or if I cause more trouble, I would be suspended for up to 3 days. But now that Mrs. Clementine is fired, I haven't really caused any trouble since her arrest and termination. Also, when Mrs. Clementine gave me and my summer school classmates several hours of juvenile detention, she would force us to drink super spicy milkshakes, force us to take freezing cold showers, not caring if we get hypothermia or freeze to death, and not letting us use the bathroom for any reason. And if we had to pee or poop really bad, then Mrs. Clementine would punch us all in the face and spank us all in the butt. I'm serious. Everybody has to go to the bathroom, we can't hold it in for several days. And while I am happy that I am graduating in May, I am so glad Mrs. Clementine is under arrest. And when she told me that I will spend the whole school year in juvenile detention, she said that if I was hungry, then I could starve to death, and she'll be happy once I'm dead. I told her that she was crossing the line, and she told me to shut the F up, and called at me the B word. She then threatened to stuff me in a locker and made me starve to death. Thank God Dr. Keating called her to the superintendent's office and fired her immediately.
Just a quick question before you go back, what punishment would you like to have the defendant receive? Would you like to see her receive the death penalty or receive life in prison?
She definitely should be sentenced to death, since she's forcing me to starve to death, making me drink spicy milkshakes, making me take freezing cold showers, and not letting me go to the bathroom. I am done.
Thank you, Kendall. Now we will hear from another student, Senahid Fale, who was in the back of the courtroom. Senahid, if you can hear me, please come up to the podium. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Can you please state your name?
Senahid Fale.
Okay. You may be seated. Okay, Senahid, can you please tell the date when you were first enrolled at Gus City Academy?
I was first enrolled at Go City Academy on August 19, 2020.
Okay. When you were first enrolled at Gus City Academy, what did you think of the defendant from the start?
Well, I didn't really get sent to her office when I first started, so I had no opinion of her. However, when I was first enrolled in summer school, she would always send me to juvenile detention for several hours, including 24 hours, 72 hours, and 237 hours. She would also call me a jerk and a dinbit. She would tell me to stop crying like a baby. She called me a gross and disgusting C word. She called me the B word, and she would also call me many more disrespectful names. Also, on every Friday in summer school, she would force me to drink extremely hot and spicy milkshakes, which I cried so hard about it, not only because it was too spicy, but I am also allergic to at least 2 of these spices, which included paprika and cumin. I told her that I don't think I would be able to drink it, since I was allergic to paprika and cumin. She straightforward told me, "You better drink the entire spicy milkshake or else I'm going to pull out a gun and shoot you to death." She literally threatened to kill me for being allergic to paprika and cumin. She also forced me to take a freezing cold shower and poured at least 25 bags of ice in the bathtub, and she told me that she does not care if I get hypothermia or freeze to death. This reminds me of the Dr. Phil episode where a mother in Alaska forced her adopted son to have hot sauce put on his tongue and forced him to take a cold shower. Thank God she was charged in that case. I cried really hard and I wanted to get out, but I couldn't, because the shower was locked. I banged on the shower door as hard as I could, and there was blood everywhere. While I was banging on the shower door, she told me this, "Senahid, stop effing banging on the door right now, or else I'm going to force you to drink bleach and die." She straightforward told me that. Additionally, she would not let me use the bathroom for any reason under any circumstance, and when I told her I had to go so badly, since my bladder was full, she told me she did not care, and she told me to effing hold it all in. Finally, when I peed on the floor, since my bladder was hurting and I could not hold it in, she proceeded to give me a huge punch in the face, and she also gave me a big spank in the butt. As a result of the punch, I got a black eye and had to be treated at the hospital. As for the spanking, it wasn't that bad of an injury, but it really hurt so badly.
Just a quick question before you go back, what punishment would you like to have the defendant receive? Would you like to see her receive the death penalty or receive life in prison?
Looking at her face right now, I can tell she has no remorse. I definitely want her to receive the death penalty, because I have been having suicidal thoughts since she punched me in the face and spanked me in the butt. I can't do it anymore. I need to end.
Thank you, Snid. Okay. We will now hear one more testimony from one final student, John Saluta, who was in the back of the courtroom. John, if you can hear me, please come up to the podium. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Can you please state your name?
John Antonio Saluta.
All right. Please be seated. John, can you please state your date of birth and how old you currently are?
My birthday is on March 8, 2009, and I am currently 14 years old.
Okay. When you were first enrolled at Gus City Academy, what did you think of the defendant from the start?
Since I was first enrolled, Mrs. Clementine has been nothing but disrespectful to me and other students. In this year's summer school series, I wasn't there for the full time, since my first day of summer school was on June 26, 2023. Since I started summer school, Mrs. Clementine would always tell every single one of my teachers to force me to cause trouble. She would always force them to send me to the juvenile detention room and force me to stay there for so many hours per day. Like for example, on a Monday through Thursday, I was forced to stay there for 24 hours, on the weekend, I was forced to stay there for 72 hours, and until the first day of school on August 21st, I was forced to stay there for 237 hours and a disciplinary session every time I was forced to stay in the juvenile detention room with her for that amount of time. And like Senahid said earlier, she would always force us to drink extremely hot and spiky milkshakes, and she forced us to gulp them down no matter what. She would then force me to take freezing cold showers with 25 bags of ice in the bathtub, and she didn't care if I had hypothermia or freeze to death, and she would not let me use the bathroom at all, and she told me to effing hold my bladder in if it was too full. As most of the students did, I accidentally peed on the floor because I couldn't hold the urine in anymore, and after that happened, she punched me in the face at least 10 times, and spanked me in the butt another 10 times. I had to get 7 stitches in my forehead because a lot of blood came out of my eye. It was terrible.
Just a quick question before you go back, what punishment would you like to have the defendant receive? Would you like to see her receive the death penalty or receive life in prison?
Because of the way that she treated me and my friends, she completely has been in violation of the law and should be executed. I do not want to shatter another student's life. That's all, Your Honor.
John, thank you. All right. We've concluded the 4th day of the trial. We will resume on Monday, the 27th of November 2023, when Evan Baker, his girlfriend, Darren Harvey, Igor Bedwelser, and his girlfriend, Victoria Hoffman. We will not be in court next week because of the Thanksgiving holiday. Prosecutors, please bring her back to jail. Court is now dismissed.